As the sun rises over southern Florida, so too comes the dawn of what has become an institution in the world of sport. It was 15 years ago that an event was begun that took some of the best athletes in the world, placing them in competition on an equal basis to see who truly is the champion. Over the years, some of the greatest names in the annals of athletics have put themselves to the challenge, but few have come out on top. This is the Superstars, an event that issued a challenge that was often too much even for the world's best athletes, like heavyweight champion Joe Frazier. His struggle in the pool in 1973 spread the gospel of the new event. 1975, pro football's best O.J. Simpson ran to a championship. In 77, soccer's Kyle Rote Jr. captured his third Superstars crown. In 1978, hockey greats Phil Esposito and Dennis Potvin challenged the obstacle course. They were defeated. In 1981, Olympic champion Edwin Moses jumped the wall, a Superstars first. And last year, hurdler Ronaldo Nehemiah captured a record fourth Superstars championship. The challenge is issued again. It's the Superstars on NBC Sports World. The 10-man field for today's Superstars begins with Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's. As a rookie, he had 33 homers, 117 RBIs, and at age 21, he was the American League Rookie of the Year in '86. Joining Canseco is All-American linebacker Shane Conlon of Penn State. His spectacular play in the Fiesta Bowl, 2 interceptions of Vinny Testaverde, helped the Nittany Lions win the national championship of college football. Running back Roger Craig of the San Francisco 49ers returns to the Superstars. In 1985, Craig rushed for over 1,000 yards and had over 1,000 yards in receptions, the first NFL back ever to do that. Cornerback Darrell Green of the Washington Redskins is a 2-time Pro Bowl player. He is considered to be the fastest man in the National Football League. Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills is one of 2 outstanding quarterbacks in today's field. After setting all the passing records in the U.S. Football League, Kelly is setting his sights on those same marks in the NFL. At 6'2", 255 pounds, center Dwight Stephenson of the Miami Dolphins is considered to be the best in the business. Dwight Stephenson is a 5-time All-Pro selection for Miami. A superstar of automobile racing, Danny Sullivan is here, the 1985 Indianapolis 500 winner. Sullivan races in both Indy cars and the Formula One circuit, one of the very best in the world at both. 1986 Heisman Trophy winner Vinny Testaverde, quarterback from Miami of Florida, is the other prestigious thrower in the field. Vinny was selected to every All-American team in 1986. Running back Herschel Walker of the Dallas Cowboys was a Heisman winner in 1982. Since that time, Herschel Walker has ripped apart defenses in both the U.S. Football League and the NFL. At 6'5", 210 pounds, reliever Todd Worrell of the St. Louis Cardinals won National League Rookie of the Year honors in '86. That completes the versatile group of 10 athletes in today's preliminary for the Superstars. Also today, a special report from the Fight Doctor. Ferdy Pacheco takes an in-depth look at the much-publicized upcoming title bout between Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard on April 6th. That's all today on NBC Sports World. Florida provide a scenic backdrop for the first preliminary of the Superstars. The Eden Rock Hotel in Miami Beach is the site of today's competition.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ahmad Rashad, along with Jimmy Cefalo. And, Jimmy, you know, this competition is really special for these athletes down here. It means that they've risen to the top of their profession.
Yeah, it's not just being a football player or a baseball player. It means that their peers consider them one cut above, and that's why they're here. They're superstars.
You know, I remember when I competed in this competition, I figured I was a superstar. I was going to come down here and knock them dead. But after getting out of that swimming pool, I realized that a football player I was, a swimmer I wasn't.
Well, my experience was a little bit different. I got a job down here during the off-season selling hot dogs, and I watched the competition, and I had a lot of respect because when you get a player who's not a swimmer or maybe a basketball player, yet he takes part in that portion of the competition, it takes a lot of guts.
All right, let's go up to that gutsy guy, Don Cricket.
Thank you, guys. Sunny and windy in Miami Beach, Florida today as the Superstar swimming competition is coming up first. Having been here last year, a number of things stand out. There's tremendous fellowship and camaraderie among the athletes. They all seem to get along very well until the competition starts. And then everybody has a game face on. There's money and prestige on the line here. But more than that, the big motivator is personal pride. These standouts want to prove that the guy next to them from a different team and a different sport is not their equal as an athlete. It gets very, very competitive and always very interesting. Let's go to the first event, swimming. Greg Louganis is the Superstar swimming record holder. In '86, he swam the 50-yard heat in 23.53 seconds. Now let's meet today's competitors. In lane number 2 is American League Rookie of the Year Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's. Lane 3, former Indianapolis 500 winner Danny Sullivan. The National League Rookie of the Year last season, Todd Worrell of the Cardinals, is in lane 4. Standout running back receiver Roger Craig of the 49ers lines up in lane 5. And the most talked about college player of last season in football, Vinny Testaverde, is in lane 6.
Well, Don, you know, with Vinny Testaverde, you know he spent a lot of time around the pool going to the University of Miami, but I don't know if that's going to help in this race.
Well, we're going to find out now, Ahmad, if everybody's awake, because it's a very brisk day in South Florida as they're ready to hit the water. 2 laps of the 25-yard pool, and Todd Worrell in lane number 4, moving out smartly with good technique in the water.
He's also very smooth. You can tell here with his stroke and the way he makes the turn to get back down the other end that he's done some competitive swimming somewhere in his career.
He's been in command from the start, Todd Worrell, but Danny Sullivan, a surprise second-place finisher now as they come to the finish line. Worrell the winner, Indianapolis driver Danny Sullivan second. A battle for third between Jose Canseco and Vinny Testaverde. Just about a photo there. Let's go down to Jimmy Cephalo.
Todd, congratulations. What did you do?
I missed a turn at the other end of the pool. I felt pretty good.
Some big long arms coming across the side.
Yeah, I think that helped me out a lot. I went on my turn down there. The wall's not deep enough in the water. And when I flipped over, I got the bottom edge of the wall and almost missed my push-off.
Well, you won. Congratulations. On to the next event.
Thank you very much.
Now, the big battle here was for third place and a valuable 4 points. Now, Canseco was last when they made the turn, but he pulled on very strong, and he just nipped Testaverde at the finish line and picks up a big 4 points here for third place.
So after one event of this preliminary Superstars final, Todd Worrell is the leader with 10 points. Sullivan, the second-place finisher in swimming, followed by Canseco, Testaverde, and Roger Craig. Coming up next, the basketball competition. Back in Miami, this is Don Cricky. In the Superstars competition, there are 10 events. Each athlete must select 7 of these to compete in. The winner of each event is awarded 10 points, 7 points for second, down to 1 point for a 5th place finish. Each point is worth $100, with a bonus of $10,000 to the overall winner of today's preliminary. Second place, $5,000 bonus. Third place, $2,500. Here's Ahmad Rashad.
Now, this is a new event in the Superstars competition, and it's called basketball. Now, the rules are you have 60 seconds to score as many points as you can. Now, each distance is marked off with a number. 1 point from here, 2 points from here, 3 points, 4 points, and 5 points from way out there by the suburbs. Now, a lot of these guys are asking me, what do they get for dunking? Well, if they can dunk, they should be playing in the NBA. Now, the only stipulation is you cannot shoot twice from the same area. If you make the shot, you got to move to another area for the second shot. Now, had they had this in the competition when I entered the Superstars, I would have cleaned up, because basketball is my thing. Yeah, that's it. 5 points, please. Can we get a score to mark these?
Very nice, Ahmad. You might be ready for a comeback. In Group 1, we have 3 NFL players. Well, one will be shortly. Shane Conlon, All-American linebacker from Penn State. He was a good high school player. So was Roger Craig of the San Francisco 49ers. And quarterback Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills was a real standout in high school basketball. One of the big problems they're going to have in this competition, they're all shooting at once and staying out of each other's way is the major obstacle.
Smart quarterback here. Both these guys take shots from the outside, where the quarterback, Kelly, goes up close and takes a shot.
That's why he's a quarterback.
You know, but this is a big showdown here because all these players claim, all football players say they should have played basketball.
Yeah.
But the only guy that looks like he should have played basketball is Conlon.
Well,
he's sinking him.
Yeah, he can throw it in. As a matter of fact, Penn State was the only school to offer him a scholarship. The reason being, they saw him playing high school basketball, they liked his aggressiveness on the court, and they offered him a scholarship.
Paterno wouldn't let him go out for basketball, though?
He's too short to go out on the college level, I think. He did all right as a linebacker, though.
He's got a nice touch, and he's been hitting that 5-point shot. He's going to be tough to beat, at least in Group 1.
Roger Craig with a nice touch, if he was a blacksmith.
There's Kelly again from underneath. You're right. He is the smart one of the group.
He's loading up those 2-pointers, but Conlon shoot from way outside. Oh, he just missed that one.
But Conlon knows where the money is, and he's going right back to that 5-point range. He's got a nice arcing touch, and he knocks down a 5-pointer. He'll be tough to beat in Group 1.
Now, let's take a look how Shane does it. Watch, he keeps his elbows together. None of that stuff counts. The only thing that counts is if the ball goes through the hoop like it does here.
He looked good. Shane Conlon with 18 points wins the Group 1 shooting competition. Now we come to some more footballers and a big baseball player. Here's Vinny Testaverde. He's got the size, 6'5". Heisman Trophy winner from Miami of Florida. Spent a lot of time playing basketball during his career there. They feel it's good for agility. Todd Worrell, another 6'5" athlete. Ready to try his luck at popping it through the hoop. I don't know about Herschel Walker. He can run with a football, but he might be a bricklayer when it comes to shooting basketballs. He hasn't had a lot of experience with it.
You know, Don, I watched him warming up, and he wasn't bad. But he doesn't realize you got to bounce the ball when you go to the basket like that.
Yeah, but part of this competition also is getting the ball back after
Herschel
you shoot.
is all right.
And Herschel's big enough to knock the other guys out of the way and grab the ball
That
back.
bank's open for Herschel. You see him using the bank very well. Reminds me of Sam Jones of the Celtics.
Herschel's excellent. Right.
Vinny's not too bad either. Todd Worrell throwing a few bricks up there.
Key here is now you cannot shoot from the same spot twice in a row. You have to move to another point location.
Herschel using a lot of strategy. He's trying to get those 2- and 1-point shots and just trying to pile up a lot of big numbers here.
These guys doing a pretty good job staying out of each other's way, the way they're timing their shots.
I think they're all staying out of Herschel's
That's right.
way.
They don't want to get run over by him.
He's run over a few people in his career.
1 minute to pile up points, and they're coming down to the buzzer right now, and there's the whistle to stop play, and Herschel Walker with 18 points wins this group.
Wait a minute. Did you guys see that shot by Testaverde? Just as they were finishing, get a load of this. Testaverde, he must have saw my shot at the top of the show because he wants to get in a trick shooting contest with me.
Yeah,
that was pure luck.
One big difference. There's no cutaway in that shot. That one really
My shot went in.
Herschel did well, scored 18 points. Testaverde hit 16, and as far as Worrell's concerned, he can find the strike zone a little better than he can find the hoop. He only had 6.
With the number 1 ball from the Miami
Now we come to the
Dolphins.
next group, and here's a big guy from the Miami Dolphins, Dwight Stephenson. Could probably squish that thing like a grape. And little Darrell Green, the super fast cornerback from the Washington Redskins, will be in the same competition group as him.
I don't think either one of these guys can play basketball.
What was your first clue, Ahmad?
I know he's going to win if they start banging for rebounds.
My first clue was Darrell Green with track shoes on. You can't shoot with track shoes on unless your ball hits the other guy's ball like that.
White taking up position down low, and Darrell's got to fight for whatever's open.
Well, there's a little bit of an advantage. There's only 2 people in this competition as opposed to 3 in the previous heats here.
Did you see that shot by Darrell Green? Shot from the 2-point line and went over the basket by about 8 feet.
Well, he's got that good 2-hand push shot. Take a look at the 2-hand push shot by Darrell Green.
He needs a big man in there to tip it in.
I think Darrell's another Mason laying up bricks.
Daryl, this is not his
No, Dwight just hit the bottom of the rim right underneath the basket.
This is, I can't wait to talk to these guys. What are they doing?
Might as well.
So Dwight and Darrell wrap it up after a brief demonstration of rock throwing. Neither a threat to challenge the leaders. Conlon and Walker with 18 points. Here's Ahmad.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me first apologize for these two, but this is the worst exhibition of basketball I've ever seen. You want to explain yourself, please?
Well, it was like this. We just can't.
No, that ain't the way it was. You want to explain it to me? How was it?
Well, I'm a little out of shape. It was a warm-up for me.
You guys got out of your range here when you got past that 1 point mark.
Well, the time got me excited. I figured, hey, I better go for the 5 points.
Yeah, but you only had 2 guys shooting, too.
He knocked a couple of my balls out, though.
Yeah, that's right. And your aim knocked a few of them out, too.
Big Dwight gets himself a point with 14 points. He finishes 5th among the 3 groups. Jim Kelly and Vinny Testaverde tied for 3rd with 16 each. And now we're ready for the shootout between the 18-point scorers Herschel Walker and Shane Conlon.
I think these 2 guys, by far, are the best basketball players of this group. And it's strange. You got a linebacker and a running back, 2 guys that really don't have a lot of touch, but they're showing they're very good players.
Herschel's not going to dribble it, that's for sure.
He faked the dunk.
Yeah, there's a lot of weightlifting that goes on between linebackers and running backs. You would think they'd be a little bit too muscle-bound to shoot, but both of them have good form.
If anybody has ever done one of these shootout things, there's a lot of pressure, and the clock starts ticking. You try to get in a hurry, and little shots that you normally make all of a sudden become very tough.
Hey, Herschel's piling up some points inside. He's staying close in the 1- and 2-point areas. Conlon knocks in a big one.
30 seconds.
That doesn't help either when they yell 30 seconds.
Conlon hasn't missed in a while. He's hot from the outside. Oh, there he goes.
Herschel now losing the touch.
Here he goes, Shane Conlon bombing that big one. Didn't get it.
Both these guys are very good form. Oh, Conlon with a bomb from outside.
See, that'll affect Herschel for the next few shots. He knows he hit the big shot, and there's a big crowd reaction.
Right, there's a tendency to try to match it, which Herschel tried, and he just couldn't do it.
Let's take a look at the 5-point shot of Shane Conlon. You can tell he does have some basketball experience, good rotation on the ball, and he doesn't get anything but net. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Shane, you have a superstars record here. Of course, this is the first year we've had this event, but you shot very well.
Yeah, I surprised myself. You know, I haven't really touched the basketball in a while. I just...
Herschel, do you believe he keeps saying this? He's already won the thing.
No, I asked one of the stewards on his way back from Connecticut, and he had a goal up on in the plane shooting, so I don't think that's fair.
Well, it paid off, man.
Yeah, it did. I tell you, it's a surprise. I swear it's a surprise.
All right, a lot of people want to know where this guy's going to go in the draft. He may be at the Philadelphia 76ers.
And maybe not. We know he's going to be in the NFL. He does win the basketball, though, does Shane Conlon. Gets himself 10 points. You see the rest of the scoring in basketball. Now, after 2 events, the leaders are Shane Conlon and Todd Worrell, each with an event victory and 10 points total. Coming up next, the power people in weightlifting. Hotel in Miami Beach, the best way of working out the joints frozen from the northern winter, a brisk jog. Hi, everyone. Don Criqui back at Miami Beach. Sunny and breezy here as we're almost to the halfway point of the Superstars preliminaries. And now we come to one of the feature events, weightlifting. It takes more than brute force to win here. Speed, quickness, and balance are just as important. That was proven a year ago with one of the greatest upsets in Superstars history when a 176-pound wide receiver from Miami Dolphins, Mark Clayton, beat the big guys. Bar is being set to open competition at 240 pounds. Dwight Stephenson, all-pro center for the Miami Dolphins, will try it first, and Big Dwight is odds on to make short work at 240.
It should be very little competition for Dwight here. 240 pounds is absolutely nothing for him. He's got those big, strong legs, and actually this competition is predominantly leg action.
Nothing to it. Big Dwight says, get back to me when you put some real weight on it. Next up, Jose Canseco, American League Rookie of the Year. He's a power lifter, weighs 230 pounds.
The whole idea is that if you're a basketball player or a baseball player and need the big swing, that you don't weightlift because it takes away from some of your free swinging action. But you can tell Jose Canseco does have some experience lifting weights. He needs the power to be a good baseball player, and he's actually worked at it quite a bit.
Roger Craig.
Here's a terrific weightlifter, Roger Craig from the 49ers. He's a former Superstars weightlifting champion. He's got technique and a lot of power.
He just asked how much was this. He wanted to make sure they didn't sneak any more weight on it before he came up to try his lift.
Again, Jimmy, that leg action you were talking about helps Roger Craig propel it up with ease.
Yeah, it does. It takes to be a good blocking back, you have to have that good, strong leg action. And you're right, Don. He used it there to get the bar up.
Now here's the young man who intercepted 2 passes in Penn State's national championship victory over Miami in the Fiesta Bowl, Shane Conlon. The bar still set at 240.
He has those skinny chicken legs. The pro scouts don't like that about him, but he's a finesse linebacker, and he just can't get it up.
It's no skinny chicken neck that Shane Conlon has, though, and he'll be a high draft choice in the NFL.
As an alumni, I feel for you, Shane. I mean, you're letting Penn State down now.
Oh, that's heavy, man. That's real heavy. But, if I had any kind of technique, I'd probably know what to do, but I guess it just didn't work.
You usually lift a lot at Penn State. I thought that was one of these big bodybuilding schools.
Oh, we do. We don't do that, though. That's the first time I've ever done that in my life. You know, we just do the seated press. But that's heavy.
All right. Thanks.
While they're piling more weight on the bar, let's look back at the 3rd event, tennis. Here's Ahmad Rashad with a report.
Thanks, Don. 7 men entered the tennis round robin with Vinny Testaverde, the 1986 Heisman Trophy winner, facing Danny Sullivan, the 1985 Indianapolis 500 winner in the final. After Testaverde's first round bye, Vinny went on to beat Todd Worrell 6-4 in the semifinal. Sullivan had a tougher time of it, though. He easily defeated Dwight Stephenson 6-0, but it took him almost an hour to finally beat Herschel 7-5 in their semifinal. Now, after a 10-minute rest, Sullivan took the court against Testaverde. It was apparent that Sullivan was tired, as Testaverde repeatedly ran Sullivan all over the court. Now, Danny can drive an Indy car, but I think he'd have a tough time chasing down a soft one deep into the end zone from Mr. Testaverde's arm. Late in the match, Vinny had to go to his strength, like all good tennis players. When you get in a pinch, you rely on the big serve. And that's exactly what Testaverde does, as he fires nothing but aces at Sullivan. I don't think that he could make it to center court at Wimbledon, but his serve sure works here against Sullivan. At match point, Sullivan had enough. With this winning point here, Vinny Testaverde defeated Danny Sullivan 6-3. With the nonchalance of a John McEnroe, Vinny left the court with 10 points to his credit, and the overall lead in the Superstars preliminary. Now let's review the results of the tennis. Testaverde wins it all, followed by Danny Sullivan, who picks up 7 points. Now, after 3 events, here's how they stand.
Thanks, Ahmad. Indy driver Sullivan also experienced some thrills as a taxi driver in New York City.
I remember one time driving through Central Park, and I was kind of having a go with another taxi driver. We were just racing. I had a fare in the back, and I had this old, I don't know what it was, kind of car, I think a Dodge or something. And going up through the park, I spun it with the guy sitting in the back reading the fare. And it wasn't a complete spin, but I just kind of got it all sideways and pulled to a stop. And he never put the paper down, but I was sure his knuckles were just as white as can be.
He didn't want to see.
He never said a word.
And he probably never left a tip, did he, Danny? We'll have more weightlifting coming up in a moment. In Miami Beach, we're now up to 300 pounds in weightlifting. Jose Canseco went out at 280. Big Dwight Stephenson of the Dolphins is ready to try his luck at 300.
At this level, I think it's more technique than strength. We know that Stephenson and Roger Craig both have enough strength to get the bar up, but the technique will tell the winner of this event. And obviously, Stephenson has enough strength and technique to get the bar up.
Yeah. If Mark Clayton can beat Mark Gastineau last year, you can beat him.
Please, don't bring Mark Clayton up his name.
You can do it, man. Tighten that belt up another. Tighten the belt up another notch. And that's right. You got to get serious. That's right. Get serious now.
Mata, I thought you were going to get in there with those gloves on.
No, see, I got to look like I can do it, see, in order to tell these guys what they ought to be doing. Stephenson won't take my gloves.
Roger Craig, a bit of a hit, but he's clean and good on a 300-pound lift.
And paid for it afterwards.
Yeah, I told you. See, the key is to get serious like you did before you did that.
He got real serious, and he got it up, and soon we'll go to 310.
All right, Dwight, what's your strategy at this point?
Just to beat Roger. That's it.
That's all. You're not going to... That's right. You hear that, Roger's strategy? Just to beat you.
Mott, I think you're psyching these guys out. You got those gloves on. You're leading them a merry chase, but you're not getting up to that bar.
Hey, I keep those gloves on so I can keep that mic steady.
We're at some serious iron level now. 310 pounds for Dwight Stephenson. Easy money for Big Dwight.
Big wrist. Look at the size of the arms on Dwight Stephenson. Little trouble at 310.
Now, at 220 pounds, Roger Craig steps up, ready to try a weight almost 100 pounds over his body weight. Not going to get there today. So Dwight Stephenson's our champion at 310.
All right, wait a minute now. Hold it. This was some pretty good competition. It went right down to the wire.
Yeah, it did. Dwight, I have to hand it to him. He got a lot of strength and showed some good technique at the end when he needed it.
You know what impressed me the most, Dwight? That you didn't need my gloves.
I did need them. I was trying to... But Roger's a real competitor, and my weight and size, I should have, you know, if all fairness to him, you know, I should be able to outlift him.
Yeah, see, listen to this. He's just trying to be real nice about this whole thing when he really just blew you right out of the water, Roger.
I weigh about 30 or 40 pounds.
Dwight Stephenson gets 10 points for winning weightlifting, followed by Craig, Canseco, and Conlon. And after 4 events, Vinny Testaverde's the overall leader with 15 points. Danny Sullivan is right behind. Coming up, rowing.
Main inland water's choppy. You are listening to
The water is a little choppy for the rowboats at Miami Marine Stadium, but not the power boats as we get ready for the rowing final. Now let's go to Jimmy Cephalo for a report on bowling.
Don, we move on to Classic Lanes in Miami, Florida, and the Superstars' 5th event, bowling. 2 contestants that enter our first preliminary bowl-off, and 2 contestants that follow each other all over, Jim Kelly and Vinny Testaverde, both former University of Miami quarterbacks, and now both equal bowlers, it seems, Jim. You 2 follow each other all over.
I think it was planned that way. I think somebody rigged the pins a little bit so me and him have to play off, and I think the crowd loves it, though.
I think so. We've got a Miami crowd in the background. Vinny, tell us about your prowess as a bowler.
I don't know. So far, I'm in it. I watched Jim Kelly at Miami when he played there, and I got the chance to play, and I broke some of his records. I watched him bowl today, so I hope I can beat him with the same tactics.
All right, good luck. Get on to the bowl-off. And so the medal aspect of the competition begins already. Each athlete bowled 1 game with the top 5 scores advancing to the final round. Each match consisted of just 3 frames. In the first bowl-off, Vinny Testaverde was true to his word. After watching Jim Kelly bowl, Vinny learned how to throw strikes. That strike in the 3rd frame of their match gave Vinny a score of 37. Nevertheless, the old pro, Jim Kelly, matched Testaverde's form, and with this strike, Kelly defeated Testaverde 46-37 in their bowl-off. The Jim Kelly Express continued on its way as he faced Jose Canseco in match 2. Now, Jose can hit home runs, and his earlier score of 145 shows he knows how to bowl. But 1 too many splits in this bowl-off got him into trouble. Kelly defeated Canseco 36-25. Kelly moves on to meet his next victim, Roger Craig. Craig's earlier score of 152 gave him the 2nd highest 10-frame score. Throughout Roger's bowl-off with Kelly, he consistently picked up his spares. But once again, it was the quarterback who threw the bombs. Kelly was warming to the task at hand and seemed to find the pocket every time. With pin action like this, Kelly defeated Craig 56-36. And now it's on to our championship match. It's time for Todd Worrell to try to stop Jim Kelly. Worrell's earlier score of 160 made him the favorite. Worrell thought this strike and a 37-pin score would be good enough to win. But Kelly would not be denied. With a strike on the final ball, Kelly won the bowling 39-37. And so Chip Kelly picks up 10 points with the win in the bowling competition. He's followed by Worrell, Craig, Canseco, and Vinny Testaverde. From all appearances, life has always been easy street for Jim, but his success today was truly forged from his close family ties back in Pittsburgh.
I grew up in a family of 6 boys, no girl, and didn't have anything. And I guess when you grow up having that type of background and then you sort of receive what you got, and of course you had to work for it, but I had all my brothers pushing me, and then my senior year in college, I separated my shoulder, and the doctors told me I probably wouldn't be able to throw again. And everybody got behind each other as far as a family, and we pushed it, and now look where I am. I went to the USFL for a couple years, and now I'm in Buffalo, and I couldn't be any happier.
And so halfway through the competition, we find Todd Worrell in first place with 19 points. Remember, the top 5 finishers will advance to our finals.
Now we come to the finals of the rowing competition. The field includes 2 6'5" strong armers. Pitcher Todd Worrell of the St. Louis Cardinals, quarterback Vinny Testaverde, the Heisman Trophy winner, and the All-Pro back from the 49ers, Roger Craig. Conditions still very difficult here at Miami Marine Stadium, windy, choppy seas. Now here's Ahmad Rashad.
This is the finals here, and it looks like you may be the odds-on favorite.
Well, you know, these guys are tough on either side. You know, this is going to be definitely a good race. I'm going to have to be at my best.
Yeah, but I can tell that you've done this before because you were very smooth in the preliminaries.
Well, no, I don't make a habit of. The boat I own has a big old engine on the back of it, and that's the way I like to go around.
All right, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Vinny Testaverde's in the far lane, Worrell's in the middle.
Ready. Let's get this show on the road.
Worrell's ready, so's Roger Craig in the near lane, a very accomplished rower.
Now, the dark horse in this race has got to be Testaverde because Craig, we know from years past, is a wonderful rower, and Worrell's looked strong in the preliminaries, so Testaverde's got to be the dark horse here. The key, Don, is keeping the boat down the middle of the runway, and it looks like already Roger Craig is having a little bit of a problem, and Todd Worrell is taking a slight lead. Todd Worrell, I'm sure this guy has really been the surprise of the field.
Right now, he's pulling a bit ahead of Vinny Testaverde, and surprisingly, Ahmad, Roger Craig looks like he might finish third as we come to near photo for second. Worrell was definitely the winner.
Well, he rode almost a near perfect race, and he's excited about it, too. Now, the important thing is at the end of the race, you must power through the finish line. You see Worrell, he powers through the finish line. Testaverde powers through the finish line. But Roger Craig, his boat gets a little bit turned crooked, and that cost him second place. He ends up taking third.
It seemed like you came on right at the end just to dip both contestants. By the way, you now are in first place with 29 points overall. I don't think very many people thought at the beginning of this competition that a relief pitcher would be as good an athlete as you've turned out to be.
Well, you know, I've always been pretty good in doing a lot of things well, and I didn't think I'd be in the position I'm in right now coming down here. I'm having a great time, but been able to get myself in some events that I can do well in and score in, and that's, I think, the reason why I'm where I'm at.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jimmy.
And as the winner of rowing, another 10 points for Todd Worrell in the National League Rookie of the Year last season. As the Rookie of the Year in Superstars, he leads through 6 events with 29 points. Bike racing is next. Now we come to the 7th event, bicycle racing. This is in the Tour de France. It's a flat-out 880-yard sprint, twice around the quarter-mile track. The 5 fastest times qualify for this final.
Okay, how'd you do?
Before the bike event, Indianapolis driver Danny Sullivan gave baseball pitcher Todd Worrell some pre-race advice.
Yeah. Well, remember in the final, you're starting in lane 5.
Right.
It's 2 laps, so just stay in the bunch, but make sure coming down this back straightaway, you don't get boxed in on the inside, because coming out of turn 3 or 4 here, that's where you want to make your move. If you can, box somebody in.
And when it comes to racing, Danny Sullivan is a world-class authority. On Memorial Day in 1985, he placed his name in the forefront of racing by winning the Indianapolis 500. After a near disastrous spin and recovery at the midpoint of the race, Danny later took the lead and never looked back. Danny can now look back on how it all began.
At the earliest age, even from 6, 7, 8 years old, I always wanted to drive whatever I could get my hands on. But in terms of racing, I never really followed it. I never really went to it or anything like that. I think in terms of what was inside of me, of my mental makeup, of being able to handle going that sort of speed and all the things that go around it, yes, there's something I'm born with, I believe. I don't think you just develop that as you go along. And probably through my fascination of driving anything I could get my hands on, that's where the seed really was sown. But I didn't pursue racing or really follow it. I didn't even go out to the Fairgrounds Motor Speedway, which was 20 minutes from my house, ever, and watch the race. I'm not a particularly good spectator of anything, but particularly of motor racing. I like to, do it myself. You have to have an imagination and be creative to do some of the things that we do and to get through some of the situations. Or if we really understood the consequences of hitting a wall at the speeds that we're going and what could happen in those little cars, no, we wouldn't get in it. But just like a boxer, he doesn't believe that he's going to get hurt when he goes in there. Football players, 75% of all football players have knee injuries, but does it stop them from doing their sport? No, they believe that it's not going to happen to them.
Speed and style continue to be the trademarks of former Indianapolis champion Danny Sullivan, and many more victories are projected. Now we come to the bike final. Let's set the field. In lane 1, Darrell Green. He was the fastest qualifier. In lane 2, Herschel Walker. In lane 3, Roger Craig. In lane 4, Vinny Testaverde. And in lane 5 on the outside is Todd Worrell. The engines start slowly in this race, then they start chugging and moving it out. Now let's go for the call of the race to Ahmad Rashad and Danny Sullivan here at Crandon Park.
All right, Danny, now going into this race here, you gave Todd Worrell a few pointers. What were they?
Well, basically, I said you wanted to stay behind the group and let them break the wind more than anything, particularly a big guy, so you don't have to pedal as hard, especially with that headwind going down the back straightaway. And then after, on this next lap, don't get boxed in, be on the outside when you come out for turn 3 and 4, so you can draft everybody and scoot down the front straightaway.
So, but you want to stay in contention. You don't want to get too far behind so you can make a run at it.
Yeah, but see, that's right. But see, you don't want to get, also you don't want to go down in the inside, because if you do, the guy on the outside, you can't move up to pass everybody. He's a little further back than I'd want, but he's still, now he should make his move down the back straightaway.
On the outside?
On the outside. See, he's going down the outside right now?
Yeah.
Now, if he tucks in, he'll box those guys in. Just exactly what he did there. And they can't move out around him.
Darrell Green was challenged. Now he pulls away as they head into the final straight. Herschel Walker coming on strong. Todd Worrell on the outside. As they come to the line, it's Darrell Green, Herschel Walker, and the third place finisher is Roger Craig. Worrell finishing 4th and Testaverde 5th. The replay shows Roger Craig of the 49ers with a late kick. He catches Todd Worrell to finish 3rd.
Well, now you got coached, and Danny did all he could do, but it looked like he got a little bit too far behind on that last turn.
Yeah, I got a little wide. Everything went the way we had set it up to go. I was going to stay in behind these guys, and it worked really well. I had to work very little the first lap and a half, and I think I made my move soon enough on the middle of the back stretch, and I just stayed a little too wide. I think if I had got in and gone the shorter distance, I might have come out a little better. But these guys, hey, these sprinters, these big thighs they got, I think they just outpumped me.
Pretty good pupil.
He did a good job, but I think, as he said, just coming off of turn 4, he left him that door open, and Herschel and Roger Craig, I think, slipped up in there, and that cost him those 2 places.
That's when he started making excuses about the sprinters. Right?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, this blue bike is great.
It's a blue bike. Thanks a lot, man.
There's the results, and Darrell Green gets 10 points for his first win of the competition.
Darrell, congratulations. You helped yourself out. Last place, but you have some points on the board finals.
Thank God, man. I tell you, got a lot of things on my mind, but I was able to maintain. It took a lot of strategy, not just pumping, but knowing when to rest, not letting the guy be able to get around me. It's a lot of strategy. These guys are fast.
All right, good luck the rest of the way.
No rest for the superstars, though, after 7 events. 31 points for Todd Worrell, and he is the leader. Next, the half-mile run, and Herschel Walker's getting ready. With Ahmad Rashad and Jimmy Cephalo, this is Don Criqui back at Key Biscayne, ready for the 8th event, the half mile. 2 laps around this quarter-mile track. Here's Jimmy with the field.
All right, Danny, you've got a little problem with the knee. You're going to go full out?
No, I might only go about 10 feet, but no, we're going to jog around and see what it feels like.
This is a good excuse against Herschel.
That's right.
Herschel, you're a sprinter. Can you run a half mile?
Well, to be honest, I doubt it, but I'm going to have to run it anyway. You know, I'm got to show the Cowboys that I'm getting in shape. No matter how fast I run this, I'm getting in shape.
Yeah, enough with the company line. It's early, Herschel. You got a couple of months before the season starts. And Vinny, you don't have to worry about a coach watching you. You're not sure where you're going. Yeah, right. But how you feeling? Are you going to be able to run this against Darrell Green?
I don't know. These guys are two speedsters. I'm just going to try and keep up with Danny at the end over there.
The psych is already starting. And you really need this, Darrell. I mean, you're in last place. You've won the bicycle race, but you need this one.
Yeah, I guess to do if I want to be around. Herschel ran it well last year. I saw it on television myself, so I guess I just try to stay with him.
And more importantly, you want to beat Herschel regardless of what, right?
Well, I do, but...
Okay, let's get started now. That's enough of that. Good running. Good luck.
Herschel Walker's a sprinter. The half mile's not his event, but he's always a competitor. And he might be tough as they get off to an easy start. They'll go twice around the quarter-mile oval.
This is one of the toughest races ever because no matter how you run it, you know your body's going to cramp up. Your legs are going to turn to cement. No, if you run fast, you run slow, you just can't avoid it.
Now, there's a lot of different strategies going on out there. For example, if Vinny Testaverde wants to win this event, he's got to get a big enough lead because when the sprint comes down at the end, obviously it's going to be between Herschel Walker and Darrell Green.
Herschel Walker prides himself on being a hard-working man with all his talent.
My way is, you know, I came from a small town that the people always work. They work very hard in all their life. And, you know, I realized that I got to do that. You know, a name doesn't make anyone. You know, your name can only carry you so far. But I don't want my name to carry me anywhere. I want my ability, my talent to carry me. And that's the way I try to live my life.
Right now, Herschel running second to Darrell Green with Vinny Testaverde in third and Danny Sullivan. He might be back there. What, am I drafting? Or...
I think he may be drafted.
But as you pointed out, Ahmad, it's the second lap that takes its toll, although Danny Sullivan's toll might be taken already. He seems to be slowing down, and now he spins out, and that's it for Danny, although he will get 2 points for finishing fourth. It's now a 3-man race with Darrell Green in the lead, Herschel Walker running second, and Vinny Testaverde third. And Danny Sullivan retires to the pits, gets a high five from quarterback Jim Kelly, and the race goes on with Darrell Green still in the lead.
Now, Danny Sullivan, see, he's smart. He gets out of the race after the first lap because that's the easy lap. In the second lap, something strange comes over your body. Your legs turn to cement. Your arms can't hardly move. And that happens to everybody who runs a half mile.
Yeah, and it seems to be happening here to Herschel Walker and Vinny Testaverde. Football coaches used to always make players run long distance before a training camp began. I always thought that training camp was easy after you got the half mile out of the way, Ahmad.
It was.
Well, this half mile seems easy for Darrell Green, but Vinny and Herschel have lost a lot of their gusto.
I think this is called losing confidence.
They've lost some off that home run trot. Right now, Darrell Green is cruising in to win the half-mile run. Herschel Walker, positioning himself for points, puts on a kick at the end and passes Testaverde, going for a second-place finish. One of Herschel's big events, a 100-yard dash, is coming up next. The half-mile went to Darrell Green, and with it, 10 points. Walker second, followed by Testaverde, and Sullivan gets 2 points for his non-finish. The standings after 8 events show that Todd Worrell is still the overall point leader with 31, followed by Vinny Testaverde with 28. Next, we come to the sprint, the 100-yard dash. The blocks are in. We'll be back with more of the Superstars competition right after this. On Key Biscayne in Miami, it's time for the 100-yard dash. The focus is on Herschel Walker and Darrell Green. Green is looking for his 3rd straight win after victories in bike racing and the half mile. Now we're ready for the 9th event, the 100-yard dash of the Superstars competition. In lane number 2, Herschel Walker. Right next to him in lane 3 is Darrell Green. There are 2 other competitors in the race. Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's is running, and so is race car driver Danny Sullivan, although their chances are minimal at best.
You mean you don't think Danny Sullivan might upset somebody here?
They have those 2 chances, Ahmad, slim and none.
Well, Danny at least is sure of getting 4th place and another 2 points.
See, See, Herschel is psyching everybody out because he knows how to back into those blocks.
And Jose Canseco knows a lot about track, I can see, too.
That's a big leadoff, first base.
So he's going to run the wrong way. Starter's gun is up. They're off. Herschel Walker out of the box quickly, gets a stride lead, and Darrell Green, as they come to the tape, it's 220-pound Herschel Walker over the NFL's fastest man, Darrell Green. Danny Sullivan's going to walk the last 40 yards and get his 2 points. So Herschel Walker was indeed ready, Ahmad.
That's right. You know, Don, he was the last guy in the blocks and the first one out of him, and he just powered his way all the way through the finish line.
Okay, Herschel, first place overall. Congratulations. Great race right at the end, though. It seemed, Darrell, you pulled up a little bit. Were you hurt?
You know, I pulled up from the acceleration. I felt that the race was over.
A tremendous race right at the end. Gave it all you had. This was a great confrontation. I think we all looked forward to it. Did you look forward to meeting Darrell in this race?
Well, you know, Darrell and I have met before, and he's a great runner. And he's someone that, you know, I think is going to help me to become better, because when you got football players that's like Darrell and Galt, you're always going to get better.
Good race. Congratulations to both of you.
Herschel Walker, the victor in the 100, with Darrell Green second with the 10 points he got for winning. Herschel Walker now becomes the overall point leader after 9 events with 35 points. Todd Worrell is now second with 31. Final event, the obstacle course, is next. Miami landmark of Vizcaya provides the backdrop for the exciting conclusion of today's preliminary. This is Don Criqui back at sunny Key Biscayne, Florida, as we're ready now for the 10th and final event of today's Superstars competition, the most difficult event, the obstacle course, a test of speed, strength, and agility. 4 athletes have already qualified for the finals. The battle now is between 4 athletes for the 5th and final spot, and that'll be decided in the obstacle course competition. For more, let's go to Ahmad and Jimmy.
The men that have already qualified are Herschel Walker in first place with 35 points, Todd Worrell, Vinny Testaverde, and Darrell Green.
And those attempting to qualify is Roger Craig, who has 20 points, and he's the only athlete that's ever run this obstacle course before, so he has a good chance. And Jose Canseco, Jim Kelly, and Shane Conlon.
The obstacle course begins with the most intimidating factor of the entire event, this 12-foot wall. Players grab a rope, scale up the top, and then jump down the other side. It is then into this tunnel as quickly as possible. The players will scale through it, crab along if they'd like to, try to get a little bit of speed in order to hit this blocking sled. The most difficult part of the blocking sled is trying to keep it in a straight line. If you don't do that, it'll go to a little bit of an angle, and the players will lose some time. A little bit of a break here, some speed if at all possible, and into these tires. The tires, you run through them as quickly as you can. Another football-type event, which will aid some of the football players in this event. Then there's a little bit of time for some speed. The sprinters will be aided here. Run all the way down where Ahmad Rashad is standing at the water. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Now, here comes the easy part. They have to jump over the water jump. Then they jump over the high jump bar right here. Some guys will hurdle it. Other guys will do a flip over it. Then you get up and negotiate these next 2 hurdles, run right through the finish line, where I will be waiting for them to either say, how do you feel as a winner, or make fun of them because they lost.
Speaking of making fun, let's go back to 1982 when our own Ahmad Rashad was trying to swim in this very Superstars competition. Not doing very well, Ahmad.
Well, he's finishing, though. He's going to get there. And he is beating somebody else. He's not last.
But this is only an hour-and-a-half show, you know. And let's talk about golf. Take a look at this swing.
Needs a little work.
Needs a lot of work.
Into a watery grave. Ahmad Rashad is a competitor in the Superstars 5 years ago. Now we come to the obstacle course, and in the near lane is Darrell Green. In the far lane, big Dwight Stephenson. Darrell up and over, and Dwight having some major problems.
He doesn't know how to get over this wall.
He has better luck with nose tackles than he does 12-foot walls.
Big guy thinks the better of it. Before he hurts himself on the wall, he runs around it.
He fell in the tunnel.
He's killing
Darrell
the tires.
Green moving out smartly now, comes to the hurdles and onto the finish line. Meanwhile, back up the course, Dwight Stephenson in serious jeopardy.
Yeah, they're going to bill him for the equipment he's tearing up out here.
Runaway Bronco.
But you've got to give him some credit. Look at this. He tries the wall once. It's not going to work. And he decided, well, I'll just go ahead and take the penalty. Go around it. No, they won't kill me. They'll just give me a few-second penalty. But he's had coaches like Bear Bryant and Don Shula. He says, you never give up. Let me give it one more try. But it's never going to work. And Dwight Stephenson finally says, I'll just take the penalty.
What happened at the wall? I gave it one good try, and I thought about it be best that I go around. And that's what I did.
All right. Then you had the water jump. You're supposed to clear the water jump. I saw water flying up over there.
Well, you know, when I got in midair, I thought I better land before I twist my ankle. So that's what I did.
All right, let's move down to the high jump bar, which you almost destroyed.
I almost got that one. I almost jumped that one.
But you finished.
Yeah, I did finish.
All right, man. Congratulations.
All right,
Now we come to Shane Conlon running unopposed in this heat of the obstacle course, going just for time.
You know, Don, it's really tough when you have to go by yourself because you really can't have anything to judge it by. But I think what we're going to see here is just how versatile this linebacker from Penn State really is.
He looked good going over the 12-foot wall, a 235-pound linebacker.
He hits that blocking sled just like a linebacker. Hitting circle.
Over the water, nicely over the bar. Up to the hurdles, and Shane Conlon will finish nicely. .87.84 seconds. Not a great time, but a lot better than Dwight Stephenson. He almost hit the minute mark. Now Todd Worrell is ready to try the obstacle course, and running in the other lane is Jim Kelly, the Buffalo quarterback.
I love Jim Kelly's attitude. But, you know, if I was making $2 million a year, I'd have that same attitude,
That's right.
too.
He doesn't have to know how to row the boat. He'll just hire somebody to row it for him.
That's right. He can't hire anybody to go over this wall for him, though.
He's doing all right. Worrell's big, 6'5", 210 pounds.
His athletic ability has been surprising. You always think of a relief pitcher's not being that athletic, but he does it all.
And he does it very well.
Todd Worrell coming home first in this heat. Jim Kelly bringing up the rear. And as we look at the replay, we see big Todd Worrell has plenty of spring over the water jump. 3 steps and up and over the high bar.
Air, Worrell.
And Jim Kelly saying to himself, no one said this would be easy. He's out of it. And now Superstars veteran Roger Craig is ready to try the obstacle course once again. He'll go against Herschel Walker, who's in first place in the overall competition. Remember, the 2 fastest times in this advance to the finals, and right now the best times are held by Darrell Green and Todd Worrell. So we're set to watch Roger Craig and Herschel Walker hit the wall.
The battle of running backs. And they get over the wall just about the same time. Little fall there by Herschel, but he makes up it as he hit the sled.
Well, can do some damage to that sled.
They're dead even the whole way. Quick feet by Roger Craig up top.
Under the penalty points if you foul under the jumps, and Roger Craig just did on the high bar. He goes over the hurdles, but he'll lose points for knocking down the bar while Herschel Walker comes in, and we'll have to check and get the official point standing.
Here's where Roger Craig got into some trouble. Left side of your screen, he tries to hurdle the high bar, but hits the top of it. He'll pick up the penalty points for that.
That was a pretty good battle there.
Yeah. Man, that wall's a killer, though.
Well, the wall gave you a little trouble. You knocked down something there, too.
Yeah, I got some penalties there. Hopefully, I'll score some points and get in the finals.
All right, Herschel, I want to talk about your style over that high jump bar. It was something that I've never quite seen before.
Well, you know, I'm used to jumping over bodies. When I had to jump that, you know, like I was saying, if I can't jump over a fence, I can't do it.
But you were very careful not to make any mistakes through it.
Yes, I was trying to be careful because when you're from the country like I am, you got a lot of barbed wire fences, so you have to be careful with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 of the best running backs in the entire National Football League. Way to go, guys.
So Herschel Walker and Darrell Green qualify for the obstacle course final. We'll be back with more of that after this. Darrell Green and Herschel Walker qualified for the obstacle course final. Herschel Walker realized he qualified for the Superstars final already, so he elected not to run against Green in the finals, and Darrell Green picks up 10 points for winning the obstacle course. Here's a look at the final standings today. So that concludes today's competition as 4 football players and a baseball pitcher advance to the championship round of the Superstars competition. Advancing today were Herschel Walker, Darrell Green, Todd Worrell, Vinny Testaverde, and Roger Craig. Ahmad and Jimmy, a great comeback by Darrell Green of the Redskins. He appeared to be out of it earlier, and he came back to make it.
That's exactly right, Don. You know, Jimmy and I saw Darrell Green in the NFL's fastest man, and we knew that his strong points were going to be the running events. But when he was shut out in the earlier events, and he had all the pressure on him, and came back and made it to the finals, that was some showing.
Yeah, he came from dead last to second place. It was very impressive. I was also impressed with Todd Worrell with his overall athletic ability. He's the only non-football playing finalist we have. He performed in every event very well.
Now for Ahmad Rashad and Jimmy Cephalo, this is Don Crickey. Our next Superstars competition features base-stealing champion Vince Coleman of the St. Louis Cardinals, All-Pro defensive end Mark Gastineau of the New York Jets, quarterback Boomer Esiason of the Cincinnati Bengals, and super fast receiver Willie Gault of the Chicago Bears. That's coming up April 12th on NBC Sports World. Now let's go to Bill McAtee in our studio in New York.